morning, children. Welcome to the geography class of ISC class 11. In today's class, we'll continue chapter 27, Biodiversity for Sustenance of Mankind. Today is day 2. In today's class, we'll study from page number 390 to page number 392. First of all, let us see the objectives of the chapter. The objectives of this chapter is to study biodiversity and man, biodiversity as a source of food, biodiversity and medicines, pollution control, strategies to reduce air pollution, water pollution, strategies to reduce water pollution, strategies to reduce soil pollution, strategies to reduce noise pollution. In today's class, we'll study water pollution, case study of polluted river Yamuna, strategies to reduce water pollution, noise pollution, and case study of Delhi, the loudest city of India, strategies to reduce soil pollution, and at last, we will study the strategies to reduce noise pollution. Now, we will go through some technical terms that are related to today's topic. The first term for today is water pollution. Water pollution occurs when harmful substances, often chemicals or microorganisms, contaminate a stream, river, lake, ocean, aquifer or any other body of water, degrading the quality of water, making it toxic or poisonous to humans and to the environment. The second term is irrigation. Irrigation means supplying water to land or crops to help growth. The third term is horticulture. The science and art of growing fruits, vegetables, flowers or ornamental plants is termed as horticulture. The next term is sewage. Sewage or domestic or municipal wastewater is a type of wastewater that is produced by a community of people. Next term is fertilizer. Natural or artificial substance containing the chemical elements that improve growth and productivity of plants. Fertilizers enhance the natural fertility of soil. The next term is effluents. Effluents are liquid waste or sewage discharged into a river or the sea. The next term is green revolution. The great increase in production of food grains such as rice and wheat due to the introduction of high-yielding varieties, use of pesticides, better management technologies is termed as green revolution. We know that India has experienced its green revolution in 1967. The next term is pesticides. Pesticides are chemical substances that are meant to kill pests. Next, insecticides, a substance used for killing insects. The next term we have is fungicides, any toxic substance used to kill or inhibit the growth of fungi. The next term is incineration, the destruction of something, especially waste material, by burning, or we can say that incineration is the process of destroying the waste by burning it at very high temperature. The next term is sanitary landfill. Sanitary landfills are sites or places where waste is isolated from the environment until it is safe. Legislation. The process of making or enacting laws is known as legislation. The next term is chemical processing. The main activity of the chemical industry is to change the chemical structure of natural materials in order to derive products of value to other industries or in daily life. Next, we have the term composting. Composting is the process that speeds up decomposition of organic materials by providing ideal conditions for microorganisms to thrive. In composting, the microorganisms convert the organic waste into manure. The next term for today is ballastless rail tracks. A ballastless rail track or slab track is a type of railway track infrastructure in which the traditional elastic combination of ties, sleepers, and ballast is replaced by a rigid construction of concrete or asphalt. Asphalt is a mixture of coal tar or bitumen with sand and pebbles, which is also used to make metalled roads. The next term is air bases. An air base is an aerodrome used as a military base by a military force for the operation of military aircraft. The second last term for today's class is social customs. Social customs are actions, behaviors, and standards that are shared and expected of a particular culture. For this reason, people from different cultures act and behave differently depending on their social customs. The last term for today's class is religious rituals. A religious ritual is any repetitive and patterned behavior that is prescribed by or tied to a religious institution, belief, or custom, often with the intention of communicating with a deity or supernatural power. Now, children, let us start today's class. Our rivers, reservoirs, lakes, and seas are drowning in chemicals, waste, plastic, and other pollutants. About 80% of the world's wastewater is dumped largely untreated back into the environment, polluting rivers, lakes, and oceans. This widespread problem of water pollution is harmful not only to the environment but to our health also. Unsafe water kills more people each year than war and all other forms of violence combined. Meanwhile, our drinkable water sources are finite, that is, limited. Less than 1% of the Earth's fresh water is actually accessible to us. Water pollution kills. In fact, it caused 1.8 million deaths in 2015, according to a study. Polluted water can also make you ill. Every year, unsafe water sickens about 1 billion people. Waterborne pathogens, that are disease-causing bacteria and viruses from human and animal waste, are a major cause of illness from polluted drinking water. Diseases spread by unsafe water include cholera, typhoid, jaundice, dysentery, etc. Indonesia's Citarum River is the world's most polluted river. Water pollution is a serious problem in India as almost 70% of its surface water resources and a growing percentage of its groundwater reserves are polluted by biological, toxic, organic, and inorganic pollutants. Degraded water or polluted water quality can contribute to water scarcity in the country. Children, let us go through a case study of water pollution. Here I have taken a case study of a polluted river, the river Yamuna. The Yamuna is one of the most important rivers of North India. It passes through Uttarakhand, Haryana, Delhi, and Uttar Pradesh. It merges with the Ganga at Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh. At one time, it was the lifeline for the people of the area, but today it is the most polluted river of the country. Though the Yamuna starts getting polluted by pesticides and fertilizers as it enters Haryana, but most of the pollution occurs in Delhi. More than 10 million people live in Delhi, yet it does not have a proper sewage disposal system. 19 drains from Delhi open in the river Yamuna. At one time, these get carried along with the rainwater, but because of the poor sewage disposal system, water carrying sewage is discharged into these drains from where it finds its way to the river. In Delhi, along a stretch, the river Yamuna is choked by water hyacinth, which is a seaweed native to Amazon basin of South America. This is an example of eutrophication. Due to eutrophication, seaweeds, sea plants, algae grow on the surface of water, which cut off the sunlight and oxygen to the water. So, in the absence of oxygen and sunlight, fish start dying. Dead fish are also found in the river as soon as the monsoon season begins. This is due to the sudden increase in pesticides and other pollutant levels in the river water. Industrial waste also find their way into the river from large industrial units. 22 industries in Haryana, 42 industries in Delhi, and 17 industries in Uttar Pradesh, and many small industrial units. Surprisingly, though Delhi constitutes only 2% of the catchment area, that is the area drained by the river, it is responsible for 80% of pollution of the river. So children, water pollution is a worldwide problem and affects developed as well as developing countries. Developed countries have taken steps to avoid water pollution and to purify the polluted water by using advanced technology. But most of the developing countries are unable to do so due to lack of financial resources and absence of technical know-how. However, we can take some steps for controlling water pollution and for purifying the polluted water. Let us discuss them one by one. The first step that we can take to control water pollution is treatment and proper utilization of water. Most cities and towns discharge domestic and municipal effluents in the water bodies which cause their pollution. Water polluted by domestic and municipal effluents must be properly treated before it is drained in the water bodies like rivers and lakes. As far as possible, domestic waste water should be used for irrigation. It is particularly useful for horticulture where we can grow flowers, fruits and vegetables. Similarly, sewage can act as a very good fertilizer if mixed with soil. The second step that we can take to control water pollution is treatment of industrial wastewater. Water discharged from industries contains many effluents and toxic chemicals. When these materials reach water bodies, they get mixed in water and cause severe pollution of the water bodies. Provision of water treatment plant should be made mandatory, that is compulsory, for industries producing toxic matters. The third step that we should take is cleanliness of drinking water. Sources of drinking water should be kept clean so that potable drinking water is made available to people. If drinking water is not clean, it gets polluted. It can cause health problems for humans. The fourth step that we must take to prevent the water from pollution is improvements in agriculture practices. The prevailing agricultural practices should be changed to save water from pollution. Under the aegis of Green Revolution, fertilizers and plant-saving chemicals are increasingly used to enhance farm production. When overused, these chemicals cause severe water pollution along with air and land pollution. Hence, there should be a limit to the use of pesticides, insecticides and fungicides, and only standard quality pesticides should be used. The fifth step that we can take to control water pollution is to change the social customs and religious rituals. Our social customs and religious rituals need to be changed. For example, thousands of dead human bodies and animal carcasses are thrown into the holy river Ganga as per Hindu religious rituals, thereby causing severe pollution of Ganga water. This trend has to be checked to save the Ganga water from pollution. Number 6. Cleaning water. Algae and other waterborne vegetation grow in a natural way and affect the quality of water. These should be cleaned regularly. Chemicals like potassium magnetite should be spread regularly in order to protect water from microorganisms. Number 7. Judicious use of water. Even in the 21st century, when the shortage of water is being felt all across the world and pollution of water has become a worldwide phenomena, we fail to learn the judicious use of water. Under the prevailing system, pure, clean drinking water is used to flush toilets and for watering lawns, which is a wrong practice. In this way, a lot of pure and clean drinking water is wasted. This wastage can be checked in two different ways. Wastewater from bathroom and sinks can be recycled and used for flushing the toilets and watering the lawns. Separate water supply system should be used for drinking water and water for other uses. The next step that should be taken to save water from pollution and to save water is mass awareness. Mass awareness is the most powerful weapon to save water from pollution. All other methods of avoiding and controlling water pollution will fail if people are not aware of the problem of water pollution and its consequences. Therefore, it is necessary that the general population should be educated about the causes and consequences of water pollution. The next step that we must take to reduce water pollution and to save water is legislation. In addition to mass awareness, there is an urgent need to pass legislations or laws for preventing water pollution. There should be provision to punish the guilty under the law of the land. The Government of India has passed the following legislations to save water. First, the River Boards Act 1966. Second, the Merchant Shipping Amendment Act 1970. Third, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, which was amended in 1978 and 1988. Number 4, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Rules 1975. Number 5, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act 1977. Number 6, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act 1977, which was amended in 1991. The next type of pollution that is faced by the world is soil pollution. Soil is one of the most important resources for human beings because soil is used to grow crops. It gives us minerals. It is used to make houses and buildings, etc. Soil is also important for plants, microorganisms, insects, and animals. So, it is very important to protect the soil from soil pollution. Now, we will study about the different strategies to reduce soil pollution. The first step that we should take to conserve the soil and to protect the soil from pollution is proper disposal of waste should be practiced, for which sanitary landfill, incineration in which the waste is burnt at very high temperature, chemical processing, composting, etc. are used. Waste can be used to generate energy by applying appropriate technology. Some waste materials such as metals, paper, plastic, glass, etc. can be recycled, which can help in reducing pollution. Now children, let us study about the strategies to reduce noise pollution. It has been observed that noise pollution, like other forms of pollution, has become a serious problem. Since noise pollution is created by man, it can be controlled by adopting certain measures. Children, first of all, let us go through a case study on Delhi. Delhi is the loudest city in India. Back in 2011, a study by the Center of Science and Environment CSE has confirmed that New Delhi is the loudest city in India. The level of noise in the streets can go above 100 decibels, which is several times louder than Singapore. The noise level has reached dangerous levels beyond the recommended guidelines of 50 to 55 decibels for residential zones. Prolonged exposure to this level of noise has resulted in the increase of risk in hearing loss for the citizens. According to studies, the average age of citizens in New Delhi are 10 years older in terms of hearing, which means that they are at greater risk of losing their hearing in their 50s or early 60s. The loud noise is often generated by honking of cars, which means changes in attitude and behavior can reduce the main source of the noise. The streets of New Delhi are shared by vehicles, people, cyclists, and many more. Traffic is very heavy and the use of honk is essential to alert people walking on the street of an ongoing vehicle, as this concerns personal safety. The honking behavior will be a strong internal barrier as the drivers cannot simply stop honking. But we can take some steps to check noise pollution. So, let us now study some of the measures that should be taken to control noise pollution. The first step is that noise producing industries should be located away from the residential areas. Step number 2, inside industries, proper arrangements to minimize noise be made by constructing soundproof walls and also to provide such instruments to workers which can protect their ears from noise. Number 3, much of the industrial noise can be reduced by replacement of old noise producing machines with quieter alternatives, proper maintenance, greasing and oiling of the machine. Number 4, the automobile horn should be designed in such a way that the noise it produces may not be harmful. Number 5, use of horn should be minimum and pressure horn should be banned as has been done in many countries. Number 6, noise pollution by road transport can be reduced by quieter engines, enforcing speed limits and laying the transport routes away from the residential areas by developing bypasses. Tree plantation along the roadsides reduces the noise by 10 to 15 decibel. Number 7, the noise created by railways can be checked by construction of ballastless rail tracks. Ballastless rail tracks are the railway tracks which are made of concrete and coal tar. Number 8, special arrangements should be made to check noise near air bases. Control of aircraft noise requires several changes which should be done. Number 9, intensity of noise can be reduced to a great extent by proper acoustic designing of cinema, dance halls and community halls, as well as religious places and other buildings of high noise intensity. Number 10, the noise created by musical instruments and other indoor equipments can be checked by individuals in their own interest. Number 11, effect of noise on the ear can be reduced by 40 to 50 decibel by putting earplug or ear muffs. Children, with this we have completed the chapter. Now let us go through the objectives we have done in today's class. In today's class, we have studied water pollution, case study of polluted river Yamuna, strategies to reduce water pollution, noise pollution, and case study of Delhi, the loudest city of India, strategies to reduce soil pollution, strategies to reduce noise pollution. Let us see all the objectives we have done in this chapter. In this chapter, we have studied about biodiversity and man, biodiversity as a source of food, biodiversity and medicines, pollution control, air pollution, strategies to reduce air pollution, water pollution, the case study of river Yamuna as one of the polluted river of India, strategies to reduce water pollution, soil pollution and strategies to reduce soil pollution, noise pollution, the case study of the loudest city of India, that is Delhi, and the strategies for reducing noise pollution. Hope that you have understood the chapter properly. Now it is the time for you to take the homework. Your homework is to read the chapter from page number 390 to page number 392. You have to solve exercises 1, 2 and 3. You also have to write the answers of a few questions in your copy. The questions are: describe the role played by the following in reducing water pollution. Number 1, treatment and proper utilization of water. Number 2, improvements in agricultural practices. Number 3, change in social customs and religious rituals. Number 4, legislation. Next question, describe the main strategies to reduce soil pollution. Mention the strategies to reduce noise pollution. And the last question is, describe the role of mass awareness in reducing air pollution and water pollution. You must see the school YouTube videos as given in the homework PDF. We will very soon meet in the new video with a new topic. Till then, keep exploring, be safe and sound. Thank you.